Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Hey, 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 hey. ¿Cómo? 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 Ahora sí. Ahora sí. Hey. ¿Cómo estamos, mi gente? Hello. Bring 'em out. Bring 'em out. Bring 'em out.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Oye,
Bring 'em
tienes
out,
que
bring 'em
disfrutar la
out.
música un poco. El intro.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
El intro. Yeah. Check it out, mi gente. ¿Cómo estamos? Buenas noches. Good evening. Hello, hello. Feliz miércoles para todo el mundo. Saludos para ti que estás en sintonía. Thank you for making time. Check it out. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Welcome to another episode. Big episode. Episodio número 6. Number 6. And check it out. Today it's going to be incredible. Hoy la vamos a pasar buenísimo y tenemos mucho de qué hablar. We got a lot to talk about. So welcome once again to Barney and Friends, where you are my friend. That's your luck, and my luck is to be your friend, and together we could be friends. Check it out. Esta noche in Barney and Friends, we got an exclusive opportunity, an exclusive interview that we're going to be talking. We're going to get into a lot that we're going to talk about because it's going to be fun today. I'm excited. The opportunity to talk with somebody that's going to tell us a lot about animals. We're going to be talking about, you know, tigers and cats and crocodiles, elephants, you name it. As well as we're going to finally find out if Carol Baskin did it. That's all I want. That's why I'm here. Okay. I know you are too. So check it out. Welcome. Welcome. If you're online right now, please share, pass on the word. We're live on Barney and Friends here with my page, Barney Catala. So thank you. Check it out. Every week we got a lot to talk about this week. Before I get into detail, there's a lot of emotion. I'm excited, as you can tell. I like to invite my friend that joins me every week. She's your friend as well by now. You know her. La conocemos como la consentida del Metroplex. Por favor, hagan ruido que se escuche para Michelle Menache. Michelle, hello, hello. ¿Cómo estás?
Que se oigan esos aplausos, por favor.
¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? Que no te veo, Michelle. No te veo. Where are you?
¿No me ves? Yo sí te veo a ti. Por acá.
Wait a second. Ahí estás. I see you now.
Yeah.
I see you now, Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
¡Feliz
Hello. How you doing?
miércoles! ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, Barney? ¿Cómo están todos ustedes ahí en su casita?
Muy
Saludos
bien.
a toda la gente bonita que ya se está conectando. Y
Yes.
pues ya casi salimos, señores, de estas cuarentenas, de esta pandemia, de todas estas cosas. Ya estamos viendo la luz. Y estoy muy emocionada porque hoy estoy estrenando nuevo espacio, nuevo apartamento y todos los comienzos son buenos, todos los cambios son buenos, señores. Y estoy muy excited, Barney, porque hoy tenemos este invitadazo de lujo.
Yeah.
And I know that you're super excited and that we're going to have so much fun.
I'm so excited as well. Felicidades, by the way. New apartment, significa nueva vida, nuevo aliento, nuevo background, nuevo tipo de vida, cómo te sientes llegando a tu casa, ahora que es tuyo. So, felicidades con tu nuevo apartamento y definitivamente emocionado por ti, ¿verdad? Y por todos nosotros que estamos en sintonía esta noche porque we got a lot to get into, a lot to talk about. Sí, check it out. Nos acompaña esta noche una persona que es un amigo. Y como siempre lo digo toda la semana, like I say every week, my friends are your friend. This is Barney and Friends. This guy we're going to talk to, he is the producer, director to the original Tiger King show. Okay, Michelle, has visto el show? Have you seen it before? Tell me.
Okay, so before I knew about Tiger King, I saw like million memes around my Instagram, Facebook, and I was like, why is this so like why is this viral? What's going on? Who's this guy? Why is I have to know about this show.
Oh,
So
wow.
when I rediscovered Netflix because I never watched TV. So with this with the quarantine I had to like otherwise I would have gone crazy, right?
Claro, claro.
So I was browsing through my Netflix and I'm like, hey, that's Tiger King, the show that everyone's talking about, that all my Instagram feed is, full of Tiger King memes.
Yes.
So I
He,
had to Google it and I saw a little bit of the show, but I
fuiste,
haven't had time to get into it. But I know that it's super controversial and it's fun and people like fun. So I'm excited.
definitely. I gotta agree. Yo estaba en la misma. Yo estaba viendo por Facebook quién es este y por qué están hablando de él y por qué tanto tigre y tanto león. Entonces, I decided to look into it. And obviously, I think Michelle, my wife, was the first one that said, "Hey, there's this guy. There's this show. It has cats on it. I want to watch it." I'm like, ah. Así fue que dije yo, I don't know if I want to get into that. So she actually, I think my wife tried one time, and she brought it up a second time. And we're all about watching shows together. So she has to convince me for us to sit down first and watch it together.
Yeah,
So yo soy
of
de lo que,
course.
I don't know if I have time for that. But interesting enough, I will admit, I got a few friends that were like, yo, talk about this. By the way, a friend of ours, I think he's watching, Roy was like, yo, get into this Tiger King, man. You're missing out. So I finally made time, hice tiempo para ver el show. Me fui a Netflix con mi esposa y de un capítulo al otro. Y del segundo al tercero. Y el tercero al cuarto, yo creo que la historia ya se dejó saber. Muy entretenida la historia. For those that are watching, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Barney and Friends. We're getting ready because here real soon we're going to be talking to the original producer of the show, the director and producer of Tiger King. So estoy emocionado, ¿verdad? La oportunidad de poder hablar con él y por ahí muy pronto estará conectándose el director del show. Now, Michelle, te cuento que esta persona, I know this guy for a few years now. We've been friends
Okay.
forever on Facebook. I follow him and mutually there's a lot of love and support. It's incredible how do you see one person go from one thing to the next and to be able to grow in what they love to do. He's a producer. He comes from él hacía los shows que... ¿Te acuerdas del show que se llamaba Cheaters? Back in the days, you remember Cheaters?
Sí,
¿Lo
también
escuchaste?
hicieron, así, de hecho, en la televisión latina hicieron una como parodia o un programa como Cheaters, pero en el habla hispana.
Sí.
Secretos, creo que se llama.
Sí, eso. Ya le copiaron la idea
Sí.
aquí a JT, le copiaron la idea. Pero él tuvo muchos años en ese ambiente, trabajando lo que es el reality show para Cheaters, localmente aquí en Dallas. Y bueno, eso fue increíble, esa oportunidad que él tuvo durante esos años, esa experiencia. Trabajó para World Star Hip Hop. También, bueno, él nos va a contar todos los detalles. Vamos a conocer sobre él. We're going to learn a lot about JT. He's about to join us here soon. I think he's starting to log in. So JT, if you hear us, get ready, buddy. We're going to be talking to you, and it's going to be fun, guys. Check it out. I want to take a time to announce. Please share on the screen right there if you can see. Please make time to share, comparte. Please, déjale saber a todo el mundo. We're getting ready to get the juice on what's going on over with Tiger King and the original producer, director. Also, comparte la voz y yeah, we really appreciate it. Me y Michelle, para eso estamos aquí, para divertirnos y conocer y poder ser uno, todos,
Sí, claro
durante
que sí.
durante este ambiente. So,
Barney, quiero aprovechar para mandar saludos a la gente que se está conectando,
yeah,
a la
yeah.
hermosa Janelle, a Steve Ray Catala, a
Who's that
Jeremy, ay, yo no sé, ¿tú lo
Who's
conoces?
that guy? Jeremy. Saludos para Stevie, Jeremy. Who else? ¿Quién más?
Saludos para, ya se me fueron. Ah, no, aquí está, para Edgar Serrano, que yo sé que ha estado muy activo ahí en las redes con nosotros. Saludos para él.
Hey.
Para Ricky Serrano. Y pues muchísimas gracias por estar conectados con nosotros. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're super excited because another day, the middle, ¿cómo le dicen? Le dicen hump day, ¿no? En inglés, miércoles.
5 días de la semana y el que queda es el del... Estamos en el medio. Bueno,
El ombliguito de la semana.
Seguro que sí, seguro que sí. Well, let's... yeah, saludos para Ricky. Ahí está tuning in from downtown Dallas. Thank you, brother, for showing some love. He's saying, we is not losing. Seguro que no se pierde. Está en sintonía, activo con nosotros esta noche viendo el show. So thank you, brother. Edgar Serrano, shout outs to you. Mira, dice Jeremy, what's up, Barnacles and Michelle? So saludos para ustedes. Yo, desde Cindy Massenet and Roy, shout out to you guys. Están en sintonía también. Dicen, yo, Barney, always on it. Saludos para ustedes. All right, guys. Jomaida, I see you. Thank you for tuning in. We're ready. I'm waiting for you guys to tune in. So go ahead and get comfortable. Another Wednesday night. We're celebrating week 6. It's a big one. Saludos para Leo Mix. Ahí por ahí veo el saludo en las redes sociales. Thank you, brother, por hacer tiempo para acompañarnos esta noche. Comparte.
Es el Leo Fiestero, el Leo Fiestero. Siempre me lo topo en todos lados.
Ese está listo para poner a la gente a bailar pronto, ¿ok? So, eso es otro tema. Bueno, let's do this. Michelle, I think he's ready. He's connected. I want to bring him on. Are you ready?
I'm ready, and let's invite all our friends so they can comment and ask their questions. I would be paying attention to your questions so we can ask Josh everything that you want to know.
Awesome. Estamos listos. Bueno, check it out right now, damas y caballeros. We're ready to introduce the producer, the director, cinematographer. His name is JT Barnett. JT Barnett. He filmed lots of content for the reality show for Joe Exotic. He was also at the zoo, the Wynwood Exotic Animal Park, from 2012 to 2014. Everyone, please say hi right now for the director and producer, JT Barnett. What's up, JT? How you doing?
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
What's going
on,
brother?
Thank you.
Yay. What's up, JT? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you guys good.
That is great,
I'm having to do this on my phone, so hopefully it's okay.
It works out perfectly, man. We are happy, and thanks for the opportunity of joining us tonight. Everybody is excited to hear from you and hear a lot about this story. And Joe Exotic, you got lots to share, so thanks for making time, buddy.
Yeah, no biggie.
Definitely. Joe, what's going on? Talk to me. I can't believe the popularity of the show. Tiger King, it's everywhere. Everybody talking about it. I learned from Facebook from my wife to even get into the show. Talk to me. I mean, did you believe and saw it happening from the beginning to develop it?
Well, you know, we knew it was a hit back in 2013. I mean, it was as crazy a train wreck as it is today. It was back then, but you know, we didn't think it was a Netflix #1 hit. I mean, I think it's the perfect storm. You know, the show's really great, but also it's the fact that that we're all on quarantine right now, and we can't do anything. We can't do anything except consume content. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That is great there. So you saw this, you had a vision for the show going in. Give me a little bit of the background and the guests watching, everybody live joining in. Barney and friends. How'd you get to meet Joe Exotic? What's the background there?
You know, I'm a TV producer by trade. I worked in Dallas a long time. I heard you mention earlier, you know, I produced Cheaters in the early years of my career. And I left Cheaters probably in 2009 to pursue personal projects. And Joe Exotic, I met, was one of those projects. He was trying to get a reality show off the ground. And I started working with him on content at the GW Zoo. And during that time period, Good Clean Fun was a production company, and it's Jason Carbone's production company from Los Angeles. Jason Carbone created like The Bachelor, and he was one of the original executive producers of the Tiger King concept. We shot a sizzle reel there in the spring of 2013. This sold into pilot with a major network, and we were shooting the pilot when Saf had the accident, and that kind of killed the project that year. And I still continued after that though to work with Joe in shooting content or a production capacity. I'd go up and do a one-off or maybe a music video. Like I shot all Joe's good music videos, other than Here Kitty Kitty. I Saw a Tiger, Pretty Woman Lover. So yeah, we had a lot of fun content. Joe's a really crazy character. But there's a lot of stuff. As much as, and I love the docuseries that it's made it so popular. But there's a lot of stuff that it really gets wrong. Two of the big takeaways that I'm glad it does get right are Joe was set up and Carol Baskin killed her husband.
Whoa.
So
too early, too quick, man. We're ready to get into that as well. But
that's
some facts you agree with, huh?
I'm talking about the points in the docuseries. I'm not expressing my personal opinion. I'm saying the facts they present in the docuseries allude to these two major points, as well as a bunch of other stuff. But
now coming in, you have that background in reality. You were reached out by a friend to connect with Joe Exotic and make this reality show or this documentary with Joe Exotic. Tell me, what was the deal with him? How you guys worked out the first deal? Just coming about, I'm willing to work with you, make you famous.
Joe was a character back then. It was really entertaining. Good Clean Fun's a huge company, so almost immediately they were interested in shooting a sizzle reel, which is the first step when you're creating a program usually. And it was just exciting stuff. I mean, the guy is just, you can't make the stuff up, as crazy as it is, minus the murder for hire plot in the new Netflix docuseries. It was everything else that was kind of there. So
wow.
It was crazy.
Tell me, how accurate is the documentary of the story of Joe Exotic from what you've seen, obviously, on the show?
Well, it gets some things really wrong, but like I said, the things it does get right is Joe was hustled and set up by some snitches that stole his zoo, and these guys. No, that's what the guy is, and it's not even that he's a snitch. It's that he's a crackhead, and they just stole Joe's zoo, and so it gets that part of the story right, and. Joe wasn't an animal abuser nor a drug addict. If he was an animal abuser, I wouldn't associate with him. I don't condone that kind of activity. I wouldn't have shot with him then. I wouldn't defend him now, 7 years later. If I had ever witnessed even one incident of him, mistreating an animal. So people have to take into consideration that it's like a tiger ranch. It's a farm. So animals die on farms, especially when you have 200 tigers. They kill each other. They get bit by snakes. There's all sorts of stuff that can happen to them in rural Oklahoma. So he didn't. That's one of the things, that's a big radical animal rights group agenda, is that, Joe's abusing these animals. But a lot of these sanctuaries, they're actually saving these animals so they can be here for our children's children and their children. If we didn't have sanctuaries like this, tigers are almost extinct in the wild, and I have no doubt they'll be poached into extinction in the next few years.
Very unfortunate, but it was incredible to see how many tigers at a time Joe Exotic had in his zoo. I mean, it seemed like it kept adding up. The tigers by the week. At one point, I think I heard 200 or 250 cats from lions and other type of animals. How much you say he cared? How much did he really care for his tigers or animals?
Well, he really cared for the animals. I mean, you're at a farm. Like you're up at 5 a.m. You go to bed after midnight. There's he actually had over 1,000 exotic animals at the zoo, and 50 wolves. These were all rescues. Joe didn't just hoard animals or anything like that. These were in most cases, these are animals. that they rescued.
Wow.
They, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it says we miss you a little bit, but we're on track.
You're good. Okay. I don't. Michelle, by the way, we have Michelle Menaches. She's incredible. She's a co-host
Hi,
on the show.
Michelle.
And
How are you, JT?
I'm doing
Michelle,
great.
it's all going by so fast. Please jump on anytime. I would definitely want to hear on your perspective. Now, talking about caring for the animals and such a big animals, we got to talk about the food and caring for them. I have a hard time with my wife keeping up with 2 dogs and a cat, sometimes having to run and get more food and bags of food and having to keep up with that. Now, the show talks about Walmart and the expired food. What's your version of what's your take on that? Like, how does that really work out?
Walmart did donate. We have so much waste in America. We throw away millions of pounds of food every year that could feed the homeless or do all sorts of wonderful things. But because of regulations and stuff, a lot of that is, it's not that they served expired meat to the people. It was either out of the sell-by date, or in a lot of cases, somebody picks it up. If you take anything out of the frozen section or move it, it's got to be thrown away. And so all the Walmarts in Oklahoma would pull that meat every day that they're throwing away anyway and just give it to Joe. And they had a refrigerated 18-wheeler. It would drive around the state, a couple times a week and pick up all the food and bring it back. Big cats have to eat their body weight a month in meat. So you're talking about a 500-pound cat, and they need good stuff. He needs 500 pounds of steak.
Wow.
So Joe was also a rendering facility and worked for the state of Oklahoma. So if there was a wreck or some cattle died, they would go recover them and go back and feed them out. There's a lot of the people talking about the story about the horses, but Joe had a rendering facility. People brought their animals there to be put down. And a horse feeds, 4 or 5 tigers. But it is insane to think about Joe's operation. A lot of times he talks about being broke and everything else, but that's because he spent all of his time and energy and everything caring for animals. But really, it's an expensive operation to run a big
I was
zoo.
just about to say, was he getting sponsored? Was there any kind of monetary money?
People make donations. People make donations to sanctuaries. They have private donors, but also, honestly, like the meat from the supermarkets was the biggest help, because you're talking about a couple $100,000 a month in meat that you would have to otherwise buy. So that offset it a lot. Then it just becomes about regular care and maintenance and upgrade, the facility. And he did have a lot of tigers, but they weren't just all locked in these small cages. These animals would rotate, and they had huge arenas and lagoon areas that were big, huge areas, and they would rotate animals into them every week. So they got more enrichment, got to running around. It wasn't, it's certainly nicer than a lot of the other sanctuaries they portray everywhere. Yeah. I don't know how it is today. It's no telling, because just between Carol Baskin and the problems with Jeff and the zoo, what's unfortunate about all that, Carol had the judgment against Joe for $1 million. And when he first lost the lawsuit, he tried to give her all the animals. He said, okay, I acquiesce. You can have the zoo. You can have the animals, please. Okay, go ahead and rescue them. And she didn't want the animals. She went on to attack his parents and his family. And it's kind of like the animals get lost in the whole process of it,
I could see that. Yeah. So basically, I mean, the food is expensive. I'm sure that he had a little bit more money than the way he lived.
Well, that's what I was saying. Broke is relative.
Very poor.
Broke is relative for some people,
Okay.
Broke is relative. I mean, but he did spend all his time and money taking care of the animals, at least the 7 or 8 years I knew the man.
I see that. How accurate is the show from the Joe Exotic that you know personally from being out there? How accurate is it?
It misses the point with a couple of things. He's not, like I said, he's not an animal abuser, and he didn't use drugs. Now, did he allow his husbands and significant others to use drugs? Yes, but Joe didn't even take an aspirin. This man's brother was killed by a drunk driver, he had a thing against alcohol, and all the time I've known him, he's never taken a drink of beer in front of me or taken an aspirin or hit a joint.
Because it seems like there was a lot of drug abuse, and he was definitely
no, his husband
he's
definitely
a different
smoked
type
meth.
of guy.
You can tell by his mouth.
Joe
He had the meth
Exotic,
mouth.
he was what is it called? He was married several times. They say he did plenty of other drugs. None of that. I mean,
he used drugs when he was young. He didn't use drugs when he ran the zoo. And in fact, he had a very strict policy. If you worked at the zoo, like you couldn't even drink the night before and come in with a hangover, because you're talking about such a huge responsibility, even though you're just cleaning cages and caring for cats. It's a public place. So, if one of these tigers gets out, or, if people, they're hungover, or they're even just, fucked up from the night before. So he had a very strict policy. If any of the zoo workers or any of those people, and plus a lot of these people were maybe recovering alcoholics or addicts anyway, because Joe liked to take in and help everybody. And so he had a real strict policy about drug use. Now, like I said, did he allow his husband to use drugs? Yeah, sure. Travis didn't use drugs. Travis smoked cannabis, right? I'm a cannabis smoker. I have a prescription for it in several places. But
in several places.
yeah, several states. Not this one. I don't smoke in this state. But no, Joe allowed them to do that if he loved.
I thought that was a hilarious move there, where like it's all on the state, and then all of a sudden you take a hit of something. By the way, sorry, go ahead.
No, that would be funny. That's a great idea. We'll do that next time.
Yeah, no worries. Check it out. I want to go into your shoes. When you were filming the show, directing, producing Joe Exotic and his reality show, there was a big incident that happened, an attack from one of the cats. I'd like for you to tell me that story and tell us all that story. How was it?
We were filming.
Yeah, please.
We were filming that day. That was about our third day of shooting the pilot. It was cold. We were with Saf, and she was shifting a bunch of cats on what they called Tiger Alley, and she had a big jacket and a glove on. And what they were doing is you shift the cats from the larger cage into the smaller cage, and then shut the gate and go in and clean the big cage, put their food out, and then shift them back. And normally you have to, there's a hook pole that you're supposed to stick in the cage with the little cage and pull the gate shut. Well, Saf was sticking her arm through there and shutting the gate with her hand with the tiger in this tiny little cage. And I guess she did it half a dozen times without using the pole. And then I don't know I think her arm got stuck at the elbow, and she kind of shook it around. Ooh. And the cats always had it's in a tiny place, and it's right in the cat's face, and they always get like stuffed animals and stuff. I think the cat was really just trying to play with her, kind of swatted at her hands, but it's a tiger. So the swat, removed everything from the elbow down, except for the bone, and Saf collapsed, and I wasn't standing very far off, but Joe was a paramedic. Joe responded really quickly.
I did hear that he was a paramedic and had some police experience as a sheriff or something.
Yeah, he was a chief of police in Texas many years ago. But he had EMT training, and you'd understand at the zoo. This is like almost, I think, a requirement anyway for regulations. So they regularly had paramedic training. So Joe got there, stabilized Saf, and I don't doubt that he saved his life. But yeah, it was very shocking. It was very shocking. The two camera operators were shooting it, and one of them got ill, and he had left. Actually, the shot on the Tiger King, one of the shots was me running back, and then the other one's with me there, because one of them had left. When I had went up, because there was a lot of stuff going on at once, and I had left the scene for a minute and came back, and then I had to run to the back because the other camera operator was sick, and I was like, well, give me the camera. And so I ran back up there.
That's life-changing in the moment, and your reaction was very professional, yet, I mean, were you worried at all? Obviously, you were so close.
I was really concerned for Saf. Saf was a friend of mine and still is, even though I don't want to talk. We don't talk much.
Sure.
Yeah, I was really upset. I had been at the zoo every day for most of the year. I had friends fly out from LA. We did like photo shoot, all sorts of stuff. We would be around big cats. And I would regularly I got very comfortable that year. You know, if you raise these animals, they're highly intelligent. And if they imprint on you and you bottle feed them and you raise them, and you don't get scared, you know, there's a couple rules you have when you go around animals like this. You never put yourself inferior to them, like you don't bend down in front of them, and you just can never get scared at all, like because they can sense it, they can feel it.
I would think the rule number 101 would be don't put your hand inside of the cage when the tiger's in there.
Rule number one is don't put your hand in the cage with strange tigers. And that rule kind of really stuck with me afterwards. In fact, I took a break. I stayed the week and rode the media circus out, and then I took a break for a couple months. I think before I went back up there, because it was very surreal. Because it could have been me getting my arm ripped off, or some person, you know, a friend from LA.
Sure,
that's a very traumatic experience. It's you have to go to the to the doctor to get treatment for that. JT, I want to ask you something. You said that this reality show or documental was recorded back on the 2013, right? Or when was it recorded?
It was in 2013. I recorded a lot of stuff, and then also I recorded stuff on and off over the years. What they did with the docuseries is take a bunch of archival footage and get a bunch of people's old archival footage and then mix that with some interviews. I mean, they worked a long time on it, though. They probably worked 4 or 5 years on it. I actually shot a lengthy interview for it, but they didn't use it. And when I started watching it the first episode or two, and I started seeing the way everybody was, and I was like, oh, dude, I really hope I'm not in this. As cool as it is. I mean, there's a lot of my footage in it that you can see stuff I shot, but that was enough. That was enough.
Okay. So when you started seeing that this was becoming a viral, we call it that it's like a phenomenon, como un fenómeno social.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon. Yeah, phenomenon.
Yeah. When you realized that this was happening, what was your reaction? How did you, what was the first thing that you thought when you saw this?
No, you're good. I'll just go this way. Stand by.
By the way, guys, if you're joining us, check it out. Welcome to Barney and Friends. Right now, we're talking with JT Barnett. He's the original producer and director of Tiger King. He's got lots of great information, and this is all live, by the way. So thank you for joining us. Please share. Go ahead, JT.
I'm sorry. What was the question again? I had to move.
No, that's fine.
There's a lot of stuff going on at the studio, so I'm going to come in here.
No, you're good. My question is, how did you react when you saw that this was such a hit? What was your reaction?
I never. It was really surreal. I mean, they started Rebecca and Eric, and I want to say Rebecca Chalklin, Eric Good, and Chris Smith did a tremendous job on the Netflix series. Like, it's really dope. I'm really glad that they got some good points across. They had contacted me almost 2 years ago. I didn't talk to Joe the last couple years after he got arrested by the feds. Naturally, I had people reaching out to talk to me. Well, I didn't know. And so I was just as shocked as everybody when this came out to see how he was hustled and set up, But I didn't talk to him then because, I don't know. I was like, oh, shit, I guess maybe. Even though this isn't the character of the man I know, maybe something happened. So they contacted me almost 2 years ago. I really wouldn't talk to them because of his ongoing trial. And then Chris Smith got involved. He's an Emmy-winning Netflix director. And he had contacted me. And he had told me they had a series about big cats that would feature Joe Exotic in an episode or two. And he wanted me to interview for it. So this is what the last spring, I did a 4-hour interview about Joe. Although I'm more pro Joe Exotic and anti-radical animal rights groups. And so a lot of my narrative probably doesn't fit the agenda of the docuseries. So I got cut for the crackhead who burned down the studio.
Whoa.
And he was there. This guy, Rick, that's a huge thing. Let's talk about Rick. That's a huge thing the docuseries gets wrong. Rick was there for 7 months. He shot Joe's internet show. I had already, years prior, sold the show to A&E and produced a pilot of the concept. So he came in to shoot the internet show and was trying to revive a reality show we already did. Now, he did trick Joe into signing some contract that supposedly gave him all the rights to the footage. And then when he told Joe this, you know, after he was there maybe 7 months, when he told Joe this, you know, they were in an argument, and he told Joe that he owned all the footage anyway. And Joe was like, well, you're fired. You know, Joe was his boss. Joe was like, you're fired, denied him access to the studio, and had him removed from the park. And then the very next night, the building he was denied access to burned to the ground.
I knew it. So wait, your take on that is that who burned?
No, I know the facts. I knew Joe then.
Who burned the building? The footage
Rick.
that was in that building.
Yeah, Rick. The docuseries cuts in footage from the year before in an attorney's office. This is not just out of context. This isn't shot at the same time the studio burned down. This was shot a year before about some other shit, and the attorney telling him to get rid of the footage. They cut it in and then cut to the studio on fire. It alludes to, well, maybe Joe just did burn it down, but there's a lot of reasons that doesn't work. First of all, Joe's very egocentric. We had worked on his footage for 5 or 6 years. His internet show is his voice to the people to talk about how he's being harassed by Carol and all this stuff. So he wouldn't just take all of his stuff and burn it up. But second, you know, Joe had rescued Michael Jackson's alligators from Neverland. And on the other side of the studio were Michael Jackson's alligators as well as their offspring. And Joe's husband, John, loved these alligators. And not only that, so we have 2 or 3 reasons there. John loved them, his husband. It's Michael Jackson's, so it's great promo for the park. And then you think Joe's going to burn alive Michael Jackson's alligator, his husband's alligator, all because of a dispute with some drunk crackhead that was there for 7 months? No. This guy burned it down. He's since fled to Norway. Although also, very suspiciously, if you read some of the articles, this is a fact, 5 months after he burned the shit down at the studio, his house got firebombed in Dallas in an apartment. And then since he moved to Norway, I don't know if he set his own house on fire. I don't know if somebody retaliated for killing John's alligators that he loved. Who knows? But I think the whole thing surrounding that guy. I mean, this guy. The way they talk about shooting reality TV isn't right either. Like, you don't shoot reality TV around the clock. Reality TV is scripted, scheduled, and shot, just like regular TV. You know, you don't just film everybody all the time. This is, maybe it felt that way to the animal workers in the park or the people that weren't in the studio knowing this is the plan we're going to go shoot today. They probably thought they're filming all the time. But as far as like actual content, there's no damning content because it's stuff we put together for the show.
Definitely. So,
yeah,
interesting enough. And, appreciate you sharing your opinion there with Rick, because it seemed like he was out of town when this all happened, right, on the show. And then you're saying, Rick, he came in to produce and help putting these edits in order that happened soon after, when it seems to happen a lot later, right? When it burned down. The way it all looks put together, it's not very accurate, I would say. No.
It fits the narrative that Joe is this evil guy that would burn up his own footage and kill Michael Jackson's alligators. But, this guy, Rick, isn't reliable. He made a documentary, but did you know he smoked crack for over 20 years and filmed himself smoking crack? He was an Inside Edition reporter in the 80s, and he smoked crack during this time and videoed himself doing it. And then in 2007, he put out a documentary about himself smoking crack for 20 years. So this is the man that says enough right there. He's got the crackhead documentary. I helped create Cheaters. So, and I just wasn't very anti-Joe. So whatever. But my 2 cents on that, that's a big inaccuracy in the docuseries.
In the show. Yeah. We all know Joe Exotic as he lived a very interesting life day to day.
Yes.
Obviously,
very eccentric.
He loved his animals. He owned a zoo. He married several times on the show. He was a singer. He ran for mayor. I mean, what else can I say? Governor,
and president.
That's right. Was Joe really that guy?
Talking about Oklahoma, he took 20% of the vote in Oklahoma for governor.
He was that likable, huh?
The guy's super personable, man. He's very eccentric. He was really a good dude. Sure, he had his faults and he made mistakes, Does this man deserve to go away for 22 years? Absolutely not. This is a complete injustice. He was railroaded by a biased prosecutor who, we don't punish bad people in this country. You have to punish acts in our justice system. You can't just say, oh, this is a bad So what they did is their murder for hire case, and the federal prosecutor even admits this in the docuseries, that the murder for hire case was weak. So they lumped in some animal welfare charge, because if he's killing endangered animals, then he's a real piece of shit. You don't even got to deliberate about it. Oh, this guy kills tigers. Fuck him. Let's send him, give him 22 years, It's a bias. It's a reversible error on the prosecutor's part. And that's just one of the problems with it. Not to mention that these gentlemen that hustled him out of his zoo introduced him to an undercover FBI agent. Joe talked about killing Carol all the time. This is part of his persona and character. Like, this is something he was actually trying to carry out. That's why after meeting with him, the FBI agent didn't have a case, because Joe isn't trying to really have this chick killed, So what did they do? They took his buddy, the crackhead, who's been to prison and took charges for him, and said, hey, didn't he give you $3,000? Oh, okay, well, this right here is another reversible error. The main witness is a felon crackhead who says you gave him $3,000 in cash, which we all know is a ludicrous number. Do you think you could get somebody killed for $3,000? A cross-country hitman? Like, no.
Well, maybe in Mexico for less, but
yeah, in Mexico for sure. Mexico DF.
Yeah.
But in the U.S., no. This stuff costs much, much more if you're in this industry, I do believe. So it's just ludicrous, and there's actually a lot of other crazy stuff that's going to come out in Joe's appeal and pardon to the president. Joe's officially asked for the pardon. They have good grounds for it. If not a pardon, he needs clemency. Like, this man doesn't deserve to go away for 22 years after, The other thing that's wrong with his trial is the judge. You have this, you got a federal judge who's an animal rights judge. So in the state courts, you separate civil and criminal. These are different courts. Federally, it's all the same guy. So the same guy who has been writing Joe $1,500 animal rights tickets for 10 years is the same judge who ends up awarding Carol Baskin $1 million in a judgment. And then a few years later, he convicts Joe criminally of trying to kill Carol Baskin. If that isn't, but, so the judge is biased in the case. And I'm not saying he should not, serve punishment for things he did that's wrong. I'm just saying in this situation, he was hammered by the system and taken advantage of.
It's so tough. It's so tough in line there, because we all know, other than the murder for hire conversation, Joe was set up. We all know that Joe, I think he always said, let's kill Carol Baskin. That was his right. That was his thing. Why was he set up such a way? I think maybe Jeff Flo has a lot to do with that.
Of course. That guy's a con artist. He's a con artist.
Him doing
Mister,
that.
She needs to get back in the gym, and I'm going to get me another girlfriend. I'm not a fan of Jeff. He's a con artist from Vegas. They do a good job portraying him in the series. The series does several things right, and it's that guy's a fraud. Carol obviously killed her husband, and Joe was set up. So
Joe being set up, it's something that we could totally see coming from Jeff and the way he came in the story. We know that for what the story tells, that Joe Exotic didn't have any money. So Jeff having some money to help him out, and to, ultimately we find out this recording, right? This is definitely a setup and out of line. You mentioned Jeff's story. You mentioned Rick. Give me your take on, well, I think you already did, Carol Baskin. That's something everybody wants to know. Did she
Carol
kill her
fucking Baskin? Carol fucking Baskins.
That's a middle name, huh?
Killed her husband, whacked him. No, you know what? It's funny because, so I worked on the TMZ Fox investigative special, and originally it started out with, and shout out to Danny Cotton from World Star Hip Hop, because he introduced me to Harvey Levin, and they really, and Harvey's been a huge Joe supporter now. So thank you, great. Danny, for that introduction. But I worked on the TMZ Fox special. And it was originally had a whole bunch of points. It was going to cover all this different stuff. And after they started doing the investigation, there was so much evidence for the fact that Carol was involved in this. I mean, there was some kind of weird disappearance here that over 22 minutes of the 44-minute special is about Carol's husband's disappearance. My personal opinion is not as much as all these facts and people and there's so much about it. They're making all these new series about it. You're going to hear a lot about this. I think, there's all sorts of series coming out at networks in relation to this. But, she persecuted Joe. It was never about the animals. Like I told you earlier, Joe tried to give her all his animals when she won the judgment. He thought for sure that's what she really wants. You know what I'm saying? They want to take all the animals away to other sanctuaries. Because what she's doing, she has this a fraudulent big cat bill that just benefits her group. They're trying to create a monopoly on exotic animal ownership. And she did that through lobbying. Although what's funny is, I know all these doors opened for her because, we don't have a justice system. We have a money system. So all this lobbying and donations, and she's got a lot of help over the years doing all this stuff. But now that the docuseries has came out, I hope all these politicians and men see that this was blood money that she's been paying them with. I mean,
she reported Joe constantly, is what I hear. She attacked Joe many, many times. There was a back and forth situation between Joe. Joe seemed to have an instinct on that she actually did kill her husband. So could you say that? I mean, did she actually fed him to the lions?
I don't know. Maybe she could have fed, big cats consume bone. Okay, that's how they get their calcium. Big cats eat bones whole and swallow it. Okay, she had that. I mean, they all talk about the meat grinder there. Or, I mean, maybe he was taken out and dumped in the swamp somewhere. Or or dumped in the lady's brother is the sheriff over the county. So you can't tell me he's, after he disappears, the sheriff of the county spin around talking about, oh, yeah, no, it's cool. It's just too. And the night he disappeared, the sheriff picked her up because she broke down somewhere in the middle of the night. Like, obviously something happened there. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know what. We don't know if he was fed to the tigers, put in the meat grinder, thrown in the swamp, thrown out over the Gulf of Mexico. Who knows? They'll probably never know. But I'm glad that the new sheriff over the county is actually looking into her investigation. They talked about on the TMZ piece. And in fact, that's another proponent. That man said when we did the TMZ piece that he thought there was a 20% chance that Joe Exotic actually committed the crimes he's in jail for. 20% chance is what that guy. And he was also looking into the disappearance. So, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Wow,
she attacked Joe. He used to get thousands of hate mails and death threats, and they were constantly using like black hat internet negative marketing attacks on him and his sites. And I mean, it was just constantly persecuted. So maybe now that her sins have been brought to light and she's feeling a little persecuted herself, that's karma coming back. Who knows?
Yeah. JP, tell me about the cults. Like, what about this?
I wasn't involved
Was
in
she
any
part
cults.
of it?
No, I wasn't in any cults. Joe certainly wasn't a cult. Joe was a polygamist. He had a few husbands, but it wasn't necessarily a cult. And I don't think Doc Antle's place is a cult. Doc Antle has a few girlfriends. It's 2020. He's got a few girlfriends. They all know about each other. Does that make them a cult? They do try to make them seem cultish in the documentary, but that's because the docuseries is supposed to be the blackfish of big cat owners. So they're attacking all these big cat owners. I don't think they were prepared. I don't think they ever thought that the Tiger King would be such a hit, but he's so personable. He's so open. They really, I think, tried to make an attack piece against these people, and everybody's like, we love Joe Exotic. So Doc's in the same boat. He's got a beautiful, kick-ass facility. I would love to go. It's like the Disney World of animal sanctuaries. And you can't tell me that the animals that live at the Disney World don't have a great life. And so I don't think it's a cult. I mean, he's got the man. If we're talking about Doc, the man has a few girlfriends. So it's 2020,
Yeah, I was
Let the
able
man
to.
live.
I think I shared some of the images there that you have taken and shared with me recently. Some
Yeah.
shots from you being on set, some shots from you recording the reality show with Joe Exotic. I am looking right now on the screen here. We have a shot. I think you are.
Oh, that's my son.
That's your son.
That's my
Okay.
son. Oh, I got two funny stories about this. So first of all, we're blowing shit up because Joe likes to blow shit up with tannerite, which you saw a little in the docuseries when it's entered. They had a trash pile. So in the country, you got a big burn pit, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always fun to blow shit up in the burn pit. That's what we're doing. That's my son with Joe cheering him on. I think he was about 10 there. I don't know. 10 years old.
I see Joe on the left. That's Joe on the left, by the
Yep.
way, guys.
Yep. And then now this is Juan on the right. Juan was a camera operator. Funny story. Joe always, Joe was with John consistently, but always had a few, he might have a different boyfriend. And so when we actually went into doing the sizzle with Good Clean Fun, Joe had two partners. Well, by the time everything was done and we were ready to shoot, Joe didn't have the other partner. And so while we shot the sizzle reel, I told Juan, the camera operator in this photo, dude, just stand in for Joe's other husband. And I mean, nobody's going to ever see this thing. It's a sizzle reel. It's not. And so I know somewhere Juan is cussing me now, and I'm sorry, but Juan's not really Joe's third husband. Travis was. But Juan was a stand in for.
I lost count like last episode, man. No, I have another shot here. I keep going back and forth on it. That is a shot. I think that it's one of the girlfriends, maybe that he had, or you fill me in.
Well, Joe didn't have any girlfriends. Let's see what we got. This is my friend Brianna. She's a model. We used to go up there and do photo shoots. That's a Liger cub. Ligers are real. It's not something Napoleon Dynamite made up. In fact, Ligers are awesome. Yeah, they and Lil Ligers and Till Ligers, and they're actually kind of similar to a dinosaur because they're cross species. They don't have a growth gene. They have what's called an epic gene, which is the same thing dinosaurs had. So they never stopped growing their whole life. Joe had like a liger at the zoo that was 1,500 pounds and 13 or 14 feet long. They get massive. This is a liger cub. This is a liger cub, and that's my friend Brianna.
That's great. So, I got another image I want to share here. Let's take that one out. This is the cover, Hollywood Weekly. You are in this.
Oh, yeah. This is the summer we sold the show. Actually, a big proponent, and the reason my friend Danny Cotton, who's currently the COO of World Star Hip Hop, the reason he helped me out is because he did all the marketing during the summer of 2013. He broke us viral videos that had millions of views. And so we did this big campaign push in conjunction when the big LA production company was trying to sell the show. We have this Hollywood Weekly cover was one of those times. I was in this Hollywood Weekly. Yeah. And Joe was, this was after insiders in the industry knew that the show was going to A&E. Which actually ultimately backfired on us because A&E got hit by so much stuff from animal right people that they had.
I see
that in conjunction with that in conjunction. Well, PETA and these organizations like PETA kills 80 to 90% of every animal they get their hands on, literally. And I'm not talking like conspiracy. I'm talking like you can go read New York Times and HuffPost articles about it. And so it's funny because here's someone who literally takes care of animals every day of his life. You know what I'm saying? And then here's a group that raises hundreds of millions of dollars lobbying and then spends less than 10% of that budget actually helping out animals, and then actually uses their time to go and kill animals because they believe they should be dead rather than in a cage. So now, not to say that this isn't the overall agenda for the organization, but there are very radical animal rights people that are offshoots of organizations like this. And these people, they harassed A&E, they harassed Good Clean Fun, death threats. Rebecca and Eric are getting death threats right now. I don't know if it's from Carol cronies or animal rights people, but I'm sure some people are pissed about Joe being a hit. I
That's,
digress. I'm kind of getting sidetracked. So
no, that's. I appreciate you sharing. That's sad to hear. Hey, I learned recently that you shot the music video, or we were part of the music video of. And tell me about that story when Joe Exotic decides to become a country singer. Is that his voice?
Joe's voice is on that,
behind?
but they also have another guy's voice. And it's funny. This other guy, Joe, had to deal with this guy, and he signed a $1 million penalty fee non-confidentiality agreement, and he also signed dozens of agreements saying he would never mention that was also his voice on there. And then I guess since Joe's incarcerated, that they can't do anything about it. But yeah, so Joe does sing, but he also has some help. So I shot a lot of these videos for him. It's really hard to tell. Even shooting a music video isn't like recording somebody in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like you're there, you play the music, and then everybody dances to it. So yeah, but I saw Tiger and Pretty Woman Lover.
Everybody, I think we all know that song, and we're actually going to play it here real soon. If you haven't seen the video, I Saw Tiger. We're going to watch it here tonight live on Barney and Friends. By the way, if you're joining us, welcome. Please share. Let everybody know we're live right now talking with the producer, the original director of Tiger King, JT Barnett. He's live right now making time for us, and he's got all the juice, all the insight that we've learned and fell in love with as far as following the Tiger King. I want to so he's a country singer. He is definitely opening the zoo. He's running for mayor, or you said governor. This guy wants to be famous. It's pretty much what I see based on the approach of wanting to create a reality show. Joe Exotic. Is that something you can agree on?
It's not even that he wanted to be famous. I know right now, even though he's going through a horrible time and unjustly imprisoned, like I said, Carol persecuted this man's life for over a decade. So I know he is more than happy about the docuseries that lays it out there that he was set up and she killed her husband. And that he's world famous now. It's actually unfortunate. I'm working with his legal team and his team. But Joe's been in isolation for coronavirus, and then they've kept him in isolation because while he was there, he suddenly has millions of fans all over the world. So he doesn't really know this yet. So he's writing people letters and telling them, hey, call, we're going to do my first interview with this lady in Oklahoma at the local. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. But all that's getting taken care of. He's got a kick-ass legal team. Eric Love is a former law enforcement officer, and he really came to bat for Joe. And Anne is his power of attorney. She's really been great. And, I'm working closely with him. I'm keeping in communication with Dylan.
Yeah, we're definitely sorry. There we go. Yeah, I lost you there for a second. Yeah, we're definitely getting into the video. We're going to watch the pardon video that you put together for TMZ. Yeah. We're going to watch that as well. TMZ and your request, along with the awesome, huge, long, incredible legal team that Joe Exotic and his fans are behind. I think you put this one together. We're going to look at that and watch that here real soon. If you haven't yet, actually, I have it open here, right? Let me see. I'm going to pull it up on the screen so we can look at this is a screen share directly from my computer. I'm going to make a solo on this one so we can kind of look at the bottom line there. But if you go to tnz.com directly on the website, you're going to be able to see, there it is. As we scroll down, if I can at all, make it happen. Here it is. Joe Exotic, right on TMZ. That's you. JT, this is all you. Legal team produces video for Trump. Let me exit this right here.
Yeah, the video. They watch the video. They carry. Nice.
We're going to get into that video here soon.
It's really over the top.
That is great. We definitely want to be able to support and help free the king. So We're
Yes.
definitely gonna take a
So,
look at that here soon.
JT, I want to ask you, what new projects do you have for this year? Like whatever's left of this year or next year? What's next for you?
I actually have a lot of really tremendous opportunities going on right now. The most important stuff I'm focused on is Tiger King stuff. We're working on some new content. You know, we have a lot of stuff we already shot that no one's ever seen. I also am working directly with the team. You know, so since it gives me easy access for future stuff. You know, so we're gonna do like we're working on a couple things, and then I mean, there's a tremendous amount of content from I'm almost positive they're putting out another Netflix episode by the real team, not the people who did the after show. And then there's the ID Discovery Project, and I think there's 2 or 3 scripted projects. There's Nicholas. So people are going to be overwhelmed with Tiger King. We're going to try to do something different, but one thing I want to do is we're only doing positive stuff. You know, we have to have something that is a positive light. We don't. I'm not down
Yeah.
for attack pieces. So I'm definitely doing some Tiger King stuff. I have some independent film stuff I've been working on for many years. One of those is the Scarecrow Bandits film. Jason Mitchell's attached to this. He played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton. He's a great dude. And I'm really excited about that project. And then I actually have some other stuff I'm working on right here in Dallas, but I can't talk about it right just yet.
Confidential
Well,
and coming soon for sure.
let me ask you something. Do you like mariachi music?
Oh yeah,
Wow!
I met Barney. Barney used to have the
Hey.
salsa night.
I was about to say.
Well,
This
no.
guy-
But salsa is
he
something.
dance salsa. I seen him.
Oh, okay. I love salsa because I've been in Puerto Rico a lot of times. But mariachi music, you know, it's the Mexican music, you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I have this great idea for a reality show.
This is the moment.
Nice.
So if you have like some free time, let me know and I'll let you know all about it.
I have free time for you anytime.
Thank you
I'll be
so
happy
much.
to help you all
Wait,
out.
hold on. You can't tease us like that, Michelle. You gotta tell us a little bit more.
Well,
Like,
it's because you know when something is very entertaining and when you are caught up in the middle of this like it like your life, it's like a reality show. It's like
Mhm.
what people has to see this, you know. So these are the things that people like: entertainment and fun and drama and good music.
No, I love mariachi music. I love Puerto Rico. I
Yeah.
produce Spanish TV for Mega TV and Papa TV in Republic.
Cool.
And then my partners actually right now we're working the film production company. We're going to be doing some stuff in Puerto Rico. We've actually been
Awesome.
trying to set it up a few years. It's just been tough with the hurricanes and
Yeah.
infrastructure but yeah, I spent some time in San Juan last year. And the year before, I love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's dope.
That is
See, we already have one thing in common. So there you go.
please. Once it's all being developed, share it with me. I want to blast it to our audience what you're doing next. Check it out. I want to go back to Tiger King for a second. Can you know, the arm and the attack. Did you have any close calls with any of the tigers or cats in the zoo during that time? Any close calls? Anything that?
I was in the cage with tigers dozens of times, and it's something you have to get used to do. And after watching with Joe, and actually, to be honest, though, to get a good shot, can't shoot through the bars, you know. So you got to go in there. But it was very intense. Even the first day I met Joe and John, you know, Joe used to have two big areas around his house that were fenced off, and he had a lion on one side, and he had a tiger on the other. And so you had to cross the yard with the tiger in it to go in the front door. And the first time I went up there, you know, I went over for dinner, and I seen this tiger. It was an adolescent tiger, so he was still 300 pounds or something. His name was Brutus, and he was way across the yard, 50, 60 feet away, and I was watching him, and the door was just right there. I was like, all right, I'm going to make it. I didn't take one step into the yard, and the animal's so fast and powerful, I literally didn't see him. I just looked down, and he was right in front of me. And but much bigger, and he started chuffing, and I now know this is like them purring. They like you, and it was actually John who was taking me here, And he was like, "Oh, do you want to pet him?" And no, I want to go in the door. Get me in the door. Now, my friend, I'm at the Never Satisfied studio here in Dallas. We do a lot of music, film, and TV. But my friend Radio Rahim, who's my partner who built this whole studio, he's never been scared of them. From the day one, he went up there, 300 or 400 pound tiger. He wants to pet it. You know. And when you're not scared of these animals, you can do fine. So I had a lot of times I was in a cage with the tiger. I never really had any close calls, but honestly, each time I went in the cage, I was risking my life. And that really became apparent to me, especially after Saf's accident, because the tiger was playing it. It swatted like this. I remember to this day, it was playing with her, and it was just a little, and so, yeah, I didn't have any close calls, thank God. But you got to be,
You mentioned Brutus. I got a picture of him with a model on the screen
Misty
right
Romano.
now. Yeah.
Shout out to Misty. She's about to graduate with her doctorate in neuroscience these days. But here she is with Brutus.
Mr. Brutus.
When you shoot with a big cat like that, you really just, it's tough. You really just basically follow the animal around and try to get in for your shot where you can. You can't really corral the 350-pound tiger. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. You let the tiger do what it wants and you shoot around it. So it's really a coordinated dance to get that. But yeah, that's a dope ass picture. That's one of my favorite pictures. And that's Brutus and my friend Misty.
You got to compare. I mean, the size of her head compared to his head, his body, the length of it all. I think it's incredible. And
he's 350. That's the same tiger that you see tackling Joe. I shot all this stuff, and we actually did that 3 times. And one of my camera operators, he wasn't set up the first time, so I had to tell Joe, "Hey, we gotta do it again," because they weren't set up. The 350-pound tiger tackling him, it's very intense. And so, and then something happened the second time, and I didn't even have the courage to tell Joe that they missed the shot. And so I was like, I'm going to do it this time too. But I told him one more time for safety. I said, we got to do it one more time for safety. But then after that, he was like, dude, I'm going to the house. This fucking tiger is not tackling me again. He was all bruised up. But yeah, that was also Brutus that tackled Joe. Like,
wow.
The homie Brutus.
Do they have like a very strong scent?
Not really. To me, they remind me of dog. They're more like dogs than cats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're highly intelligent. They would know you if you imprinted on them. I was comfortable around them a lot, but you really have to see these animals every day. And once I started visiting every other month, I'm not so comfortable. I haven't been there in a few months, and sure, the tiger comes up to the fence and knows me, but I'm not sticking my hand in the cage, and I'm not going in there if I haven't been around them. But I think that you get comfortable around animals like that, and it's just like a unfortunate accident can happen, like happened with Saf.
Yeah.
Totally. We definitely, man, we gotta honor you and the team, and just in general being part of such a production around these close encounters with these tigers and cats all the time. I got a question for you. Question of the night, I would say. We know of Joe Exotic being the Tiger King, obviously on the show, the original production that you put together and part of. We also know that Carol Baskin has her own tigers, right? And she claims to be the Tiger King. I think I lost JT. I lost you, buddy. If you're watching, please connect. I want to ask him because after that we got Jeff. Jeff now turns into the new Tiger King on the show. So I want to know from JT Barnett, your opinion, being there with these guys and Joe personally, who do you think is the Tiger King? Jeff becomes the new Tiger King, taking over the zoo. The Carol Baskin has always been there. We got Joe Exotic trying to be everybody he can be. What is his take on this? And I can't find JT. If he can connect back, please. I'd love to ask you this big question because who is the Tiger King ultimately? Like, who wins the pot, obviously? And it's so unfortunate to see Joe Exotic in jail right now. He's serving, I believe, up to 22 years in jail. So that is very sad. JT, if you're watching, please connect. I'd like to finish this conversation with a bang. We need to know who is the Tiger King. Michelle, what are you thinking, Michelle?
Pues yo estoy pensando que 20 años son muchísimos años, y más si estás ahí encerrado injustamente, ¿no?
No,
I
seguro que
think
sí.
people have definitely, I don't know if, I don't think he's gonna be all those years in there. Somebody has to do something. Don't you think?
Totally. And, he put together an incredible video. We're going to watch that real soon. If you haven't yet, it's on tmz.com on the website. I was just showing it live. This is all JT Barnett and the legal team putting this video together that we're going to watch real soon to help Joe Exotic. He's in jail. I mean, he honestly many times said, I want to kill, Carol Baskin, and anybody that ever said, Carol Baskin is this or that. Oh yeah, let's go kill her. I mean, that was his thing, and we all know that Joe was a lot of talk. He talk, but was he actually framed? Obviously, we know that he was and set up, but is it enough to keep him in jail that long? Is President Trump going to see this video and realize there's something I could do for this guy? We can see that there on the screen. President Trump and the Joe Exotic team putting together something to free the king. So we're gonna. I'm waiting for JT. JT, if you're watching, man, that one question I want to ask you before you leave us. Also, JT Barnett is going to be in town real soon. JT Barnett will be at a celebrity softball game happening, I believe, next month. This is a big deal. It happens every year. And they've invited JT Barnett to be part of the celebrity softball game. Me and the guys, the December guys, we got a chance to go on previous years. Matthew McConaughey is there. I think they have Emmitt Smith as one of the players. So JT is going to play. I'm not sure if he plays any softball, but get ready, bud, because these guys do. And there's a few other guys. I think Josh Howard from the Dallas Mavericks, ex-player Josh Howard, he's going to be one of the coaches. He just got hired, Josh Howard, to be. If you follow the Mavs, Josh Howard. He became UNT's coach for the Mavs, so that's pretty cool. He's going to be taking on this new season, and also will be at the celebrity game. Big shout out to Tim Claude. He's the organizer for the softball celebrity game. I had that coming up for you soon. Here's a shout out now. So softball game is coming up. Look it up, celebrity softball game. And James Castro with Urban Parties, you're the man, making all the plugins work. Because here's one of them. He will also be at the celebrity softball game. So yeah, we're gonna see JT in town real soon. Let me see if he's still logged in. I'm gonna message him directly to go ahead and call us. We didn't get a chance to finish our conversation, but I want to get that in before we say goodnight and show the video. So, Michelle, we have learned so much information. This guy is just going at it. ¿Qué aprendiste por ahora? ¿Qué aprendiste?
Bueno, pues aprendí a no meterme en una jaula con leones y tigres.
Okay. No meta la mano.
No meter la mano cuando vaya al zoológico. Y pues aprendí que definitivamente el mundo es tan grande, el universo es tan grande que aquí hay para todos, así decimos en México, que a lo que te dediques, así seas cirquero, así seas dueño de un zoológico, así seas cantante, locutor, DJ, zapatero, carpintero, lo que sea, puedes ser exitoso en lo que te propongas y puedes hacer todo lo que tú quieras, así como esta persona tan interesante que es el Tiger King. Y pues que yo creo que él tuvo un sueño y lo logró, y también todos nosotros podemos lograr todos nuestros sueños, así que sigan adelante. Y ya ven qué tan exitoso también es JT, y quién iba a pensar, ¿no? De que después de tantos años que habían pasado, que se había creado esta serie, que de repente, ¡pum!, O sea, hizo el Big Boom y se volvió viral y ahorita es un fenómeno social y toda la gente está hablando de esta serie. A mí se me hizo impresionantísimo cómo algo tan raro, tan diferente, tan único, se pudo hacer tan popular, ¿no? De la noche a la mañana, Barney, ¿qué piensas?
Pienso que el teléfono de JT died. Guys, keep a phone charger by you. JT just said, I'm on standby, phone died. So guys, thanks for hanging on. I totally agree with you. And definitely got to bring in JT once again. I think he's with us. JT, are you there? Can you see us? Can you hear us? JT, can you hear me?
Yeah, what up?
What's up, man? I don't see you, buddy. I don't see you, but I hear you.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Stay with us. Don't go nowhere. Maybe it's your camera. Check it out. I had another big question.
Yeah, no, sorry. I borrowed one of my friends. He's got the camera taped up here.
Oh, don't worry.
My phone died, and it was so dead. I ran out to the car, but then it was too far from the Wi-Fi for this. Anyways, I'm back. Sorry about that.
We see you now. We see you now.
Let's roll.
Awesome, man. Let's check it out. We were talking. I had a big question. It's the question of the night. I want to know who is the real Tiger King. In
you're rare.
Position,
Rare.
The real Tiger King.
Check it out. Obviously, we know Carol Baskin did what she did while Joe also did what he did as far as owning a zoo, having her own exotic animals. We also know that Joe Exotic lived to be the Tiger King. And now Joe going into jail, losing the property. Jeff now becomes the Tiger King.
Well,
and I hear there's a lot coming out now. To your opinion,
he stole the name. He's not the Tiger King, bro. Like, he's just a con artist. He stole it. Joe is the only Tiger King. Joe Exotic is the only Tiger King. He's not a con artist from Vegas that's got to use little baby cubs to get laid. He's not somebody who hacked up her husband, whacked him. He's the real Tiger King. He regularly went in. Joe was never intimidated by any of these cats. Like I was saying earlier, if you have any fear or you're scared of these animals, you can't go around them. They can sense that, and then you're prey. That's some things you do things differently with tigers and lions, but you don't like run from them. You can't be scared. You have to always be taller. So if you always watch Joe, if the animal sits down, Joe will crouch down. But he's always ready. Wow. If the animal goes to stand up, he stands up quickly because instinctually something for them, so you can't be scared around the cats. Joe Exotic went in with the 20 of these big ass tigers all the time. I watched him for years. It took a little courage on my part to go in a dozen times. So I can imagine Joe doing it for a decade. He's the real Tiger King. These other people's are frauds.
That's what I'm talking about. It's so natural for that guy to walk in there and interact with these animals.
Yep.
What is one story that hasn't been told? Something that hasn't been shared about your interaction in general, or just in general about Joe and Joe Exotic?
I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff out there about Joe.
What pops to mind? Something that hasn't been shared.
Joe was a good-hearted guy. Joe, every year, Joe would bring everybody from the town. He would have Christmas for everybody. Like Dwayne Caraway used to give out turkeys in South Dallas. Yes. Joe would do for everybody. Always giving back to the community, to the city. He took in people there. There's a lot of stories that come out about Joe, but they're not reliable sources. While there's really great people that work in zoology and big cats and study them, a lot of times when people, Joe takes in an ex-con or a former drug addict or a drunk, he helped give these people a purpose. People are recovering. He gave them a fair wage. He gave them a place to live. The places are nasty because the people didn't take care of them. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
The places are nasty. I mean, if you live somewhere, you clean it up. I lived in one of those trailers. It was fucking nice for a trailer in rural Oklahoma. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't disgusting. That's a reflection of the people that were living in it. But he took people from the dregs of society, gave them trades, gave them careers. Some of these people have gone on to be really great, working with animals and stuff. So, I mean, as far as stories you haven't heard, I do have some stuff. but I
Anything
gotta save
short.
it. I gotta save it.
There you go. You're gonna write that book. I know you're working on
I'm
that.
writing a
I
book.
see.
We're gonna do some
I
more TV
see.
stuff, TV streaming. There's more stuff coming with Joe Exotic content. So unfortunately, I can't give you some juicy details right now, but I'll be happy to do my
But
best.
soon, you have to
But
come
soon.
back and
Yes.
tell us.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. I'm gonna make a transition into softball soon enough. Next month, I believe you're gonna be in town, buddy.
Is that next
You're
month?
playing. Is it next month? I gotta double check on the celebrity softball game. But you're a celebrity playing, man.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. I've been in part, and also supported. I go out there just to have a good time, drink, and watch the game. And
Nice.
guys like Matthew McConaughey come around and play the game. Guys like who was it? Emmitt Smith, which we all know from the Dallas Cowboys, comes in and plays. I think this year we have Josh Howard, ex-Maverick, Dallas Maverick player. He's going to be one of the coaches. Shout out to Tim Claude that puts this together, and James Costa will be right behind it with Urban Parties. Are you excited to get?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Ball, buddy.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna have to get in a little better shape. I've been really lazy, man. We've been, everybody's locked up. We're eating what we want. We're stuck at the house. So, but yeah, I'm gonna practice a little before to try to get ready, so I could at least be a little small competitor.
You gotta go hit the batting cages, man, and
and
get the swing back on and bring back that catch, and you're gonna be in action. A lot of that information I'm gonna be sharing it real soon on the comments for the celebrity softball game. If you want to go out and see JT Barnett in action on the field, as well as the other celebrities are going to be on the field playing live. This is going to be a fun game. Look up Tim Claude or the celebrity softball game link that I'll be sharing on the comments very, very soon. I think you already mentioned what's next for you. Is there anything that we should look forward to? Anything that I could support you on, and definitely the fans watching the show?
I think I stay tuned for more Tiger King stuff. There's some dope Tiger King stuff coming. I got some dope independent film stuff we're working on here in Dallas. I have some good partners in New York. Yeah, it's about it. I'm excited about my film Scarecrow Bandits. I'm putting it together with a great team. I've been working on it a long time. It's a really big film. It takes place in Dallas. Although we're going to have, unfortunately, because of our weak Texas legislation for film and TV, I'm going to have to shoot the bulk of the film somewhere else because our tax incentives suck here in comparison to some states. I guess they don't suck, but it's not definitely good as some other major markets.
Correct.
It plays an important part in making film and TV. So we're still going to shoot in Dallas for several weeks, but unfortunately, my Dallas movie is going to have to be shot somewhere else, like Atlanta or New York, or just to get done. But yeah, other than that, I'm excited for Tiger King stuff. I might be doing some cheater stuff again. I don't know. You never know. I was hanging out with people last night. Shout out to my friend Julie. Julie invited me. I went on a Cheaters bus last night.
Really?
I tagged along. We got a new host. There's a new host at Cheaters, Peter Guns, right? From Lord Tariq and Peter Guns and Love and Hip Hop. He's our new Cheaters host. In fact, wait till you see some of the stuff they're shooting. It was dope. He, homeboy got kind of rowdy with him, and he was like, "I ain't Joey Greco, homeboy. I'll handle you."
I remember Joey. He would go on the camera, just walk in on anybody. Did you know he was doing this to you? I mean, his face,
his reaction. He could be like,
relax.
I don't know. Why is her head in his lap? Maybe she lost a contact in the floorboard of his car. Do you think maybe she lost a contact? No, he just keying you up. Just keying you up. Joey was
instigating. That's Joey. Hopefully
that was Joey.
Hopefully the new host picks that up as well. That was fun to watch.
I think the new host is gonna kick ass. He's a classic rapper. He's been on Love and Hip Hop. Like, it's great for the show. That's gonna have a new feel, a new vibe. So I'm excited for those folks over there, and I've been talking with them a little bit. So they let me tag along, like I said, on a bus last night. So it was cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Also, real soon, we're going to get back to dancing. I haven't seen you in a while in the salsa scene and the nightlife.
Yeah.
So please, definitely make time to hit me up. Reach out. We want to see you get back.
Oh, no, I'm there with you. I'm there, brother.
There you go. I'm so excited. Man, I had so many great questions. I think we went through them all. I want to see if there's anybody here on the social media platforms, anybody watching. If you have a question,
let's watch the
go
video.
ahead.
So
Say it again.
let's watch the video.
Yay!
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
It's only 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It's short.
All righty. I'm going to hide everybody here because we have a cool video to watch. I'm going to let you, JT, please present the video.
Intro. So this is the piece for we're asking for the presidential pardon. This is also announcing Joe's legal team. We really wanted to go over the top. The team is appealing to a showman anyway, so we really had to appeal to that reality TV showman, and I think we captured it well. One of the guys that worked with me shooting it said it was the craziest shoot he had been on in a while. And it was very tame when it comes out, but we also asked to remember the video is for a legal team. It's asking for a pardon. So while it's got a little edge to it, it still needs to, but yeah, it's about Eric Love. He's the lead investigator and executive manager running all the legal and business for Joe. Working directly with Eric on some great new official Joe Exotic stuff that's going to be happening. And yeah, here's their TMZ drop. In fact, I think I've heard rumors that they're going to actually take this bus to the White House. This is a 60-foot tour bus. They rent it to NASCAR, actually. It's the largest bus in the U.S. It's a double-decker tour bus, has an upstairs patio. And then you'll see in the video, it's wrapped with free Joe Exotic, and everything else. So
very cool. Very cool. The video was quite large as far as the footage goes. So we're going to watch it directly from TMZ website.
Perfect.
And I'm going to go full screen on that as soon as it starts playing. Okay, guys? Check it out.
So,
An exclusive video. If you haven't seen it yet, enjoy.
Let's say everything.
Let's see, we're gonna get this going. Sorry, we're
This old adage has never rang more
okay,
true.
we're experiencing technical difficulties.
most definitely.
We'll be
Let's
back
see if we
soon.
can-
They say everything is bigger in Texas. This old adage has never rang more true than in the case of the Tiger King's legal
Oh, are you screen sharing?
team.
Yeah, we're doing a screen share here through the app. It's just quite a. Here we go.
Dope.
We're gonna start this over one more time.
Oh, I can see it's loading now, it looks like. I can see the loading bar, right? Is it the loading
They
bar?
say everything is bigger in Texas. This old adage has never rang more true than in the case of the Tiger King's legal team.
Yeah, it's a bit of a delay.
That's all right. Maybe we can talk for a minute and let it load.
Definitely.
Let's
I don't
let it
think.
load for a minute or two. It looks like it's loading. I can see the bars.
Yeah, I don't think this video is on YouTube. I wish I could share it directly from YouTube, but I do want to share another while it loads. Let me hide that. I do have your sizzle, Joe Exotic sizzle. This is a lot of your footage. That's currently on this sizzle from your page on YouTube. I do have that and that.
This is the actual sizzle. This is the second version of the sizzle reel we did for Good Clean Fun of the show that sold to A&E.
Okay, let's see if we can get into this video. It's thinking about it. Here it is.
Having the United States' largest private zoo may seem like an adventure, but you have no idea. Hey, I'm Joe Exotic, otherwise known as the Tiger King, the gay, gun-carrying redneck with a mullet. I built this place from the ground up. I started over 15 years ago with a deer and a mountain lion. I have over 180 big cats, 500 other exotic animals in my care. We have rescued over thousands of exotic animals, and I treat every one of them like they're my kids. Between taking care of all these animals and babysitting my employees, things can get a little crazy around here. Nope. Whatever. Josh, get it. Take your gun off.
Attention all employees. This is a voice from God. If I find any drugs on this park or anyone doing drugs,
I'll put you in the car and drive you down to the sheriff's office and throw you in the prison cell myself. See what I'm talking about? If they're not all smoking pot, they're harassing my volunteers.
Hi, I'm Misty, and I'm a volunteer here at the zoo. You, I know your freaking secret. Optimus Prime.
I recently turned the business end over to my other half, John Finley, who's been my partner for 10 years now. And he runs this place with his eyes closed from bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Time to go fit. Let's get into a fit. Jerry, get him off fitting.
I got him.
Get out of there.
Well, I am Travis Michael Maldonado. Some of the things I do around here at the GW Zoo, I take care of this wonderful lake property. I go ahead and take care of all the baby animals and animal control and people control.
My name's John Rickey. I'm the manager here at the GW Zoo. Poop in the bag, walk around on fake legs all day.
I see this ass busting coming real quick here.
Here it is. On the wrong leg, but that's all right.
I've been attacked by the crazy animal rights activists who want to do nothing but harm my animals. I've been attacked by the crazy private owners who are nothing but jealous of this facility that we built. I've been on so many news stories around the world, hell, I can't even keep up anymore. Sometimes it's in a positive light.
Sit here in front. This video makes me very happy.
Sometimes it's not.
I don't worry about what the Humane Society or PETA has to say about anything because A, they're not here, B, they know nothing about our facility, and C, I really would rather not comment on an organization that killed 87% of the animals that they got their hands on last year while we work 24/7 to rescue animals and give up everything in our lives to keep these animals alive. This is the sandbag jobs that I was talking about last night. Every question was about animal rights people, and I will not do this again.
That's the news media for you. I work 365 days a year. I'm up at 5. I go to bed at midnight. There is no way I could do this without my soldiers, my family, or my partners. We all live inside this cage with these magnificent creatures. There's nobody in the world that can operate a zoo better than me. Until my last dying breath, we're gonna take care of animals and blow shit up. I'm Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, and let me invite you behind the scenes of what life really is like at the zoo.
get them PETA assholes off my property.
This is how we survive. This is how we live. I'm Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, and let me invite you behind the scenes of what life really is like.
All right.
Yeah.
What's going on? All right. That was
Interesting.
tell us.
That's so
Tell
much
us,
fun.
Yeah, no, it was a hit. It's the same thing now. I thought it was dope. It was a great concept. It's very entertaining. It was crazy, but who would have ever known that it was a hit? you know. But yeah, so that's the sizzle reel we shot. That's the second version because, like I said, in the first version, they had to superimpose Juan's head on someone, and then I had Juan stand in some shots to be the third husband. So he probably hates me somewhere. That's why we didn't show that one. We showed the one with Travis, R.I.P. Travis. He was a great kid who died tragically. But that was the sizzle reel, you know. And I sent you the link. I was, while we were talking, I had logged in and I was hosting the video, but I realized I already had it hosted on YouTube. So
really, okay.
The link.
I'm working on that link right now. See if we can make that happen and definitely play it. By the way, guys, if you're watching right now, thank you for joining us. We got one more video we're going to share with you guys. JT put together, along with his team, a pardon video. This is the video where he is requesting the support from the government and Donald Trump to release and pardon Joe Exotic.
Free Joe Exotic.
Yes, free Joe Exotic. So let's see if I can pull this up and get into that. Here it is. Here it is. I got it. Got it going. Let's see if you let's see. I found it. Let's see. We're gonna play it right now. Let's see if we can load this. You know, it's fun when technical things get technical. So
do you think that video is gonna work, knowing coming from the perspective of the president, our actual president?
I think the video alone doesn't work, but the video is a big direction of how big the team's fixing to do it. So I think the official, you know, they got to officially file a pardon. People talk about doing it or sign this or they actually have to put a big, huge, giant legal document together and file it in the court. So is he going to get a pardon? Is he going to get clemency? Does he have a chance at appeal? At the very least, he needs a retrial with a judge and a prosecutor who aren't biased. And you know, so there's so many reversible errors in his trial that are public knowledge right now. And there's actually even more stuff that's going to come out in the, you know, but we can't even talk about it now because it gives the opposition a heads up of why he actually deserves to be out. But just, and not only that, but I think, you know, Trump is a showman and he sees, you know, he watches reality TV. He sees this guy as a hit. You know, if he thinks it's going to win the election for him, I think he'll just pardon him.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I ask you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that definitely works out for Joe Exotic. I got the video. It's ready. Let's watch it. Free Joe Exotic.
It's bigger than Texas. This old adage has never rang more true than in the case of the Tiger Kings legal team.
As of Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020, Joseph Maldonado Passage, known to many as Joe Exotic, has a distinguished Fort Worth connection and a massive new support team for his legal and business endeavors. Joe Exotic, currently incarcerated at FMC Fort Worth, has chosen Bedford resident Eric Love, a philanthropist and private investigator, as his executive manager. Love will oversee all legal and business matters for Joe while striving to uncover the truth. A team the size of Texas has been assembled to handle the case of Joe Exotic.
I'm Eric Love, a former law enforcement officer turned businessman and private investigator. We built an army of attorneys to assist in the appeals process and right this monumental injustice.
With this extensive support, this unit intends to prove that the Tiger King is not only not guilty, rather, he is the victim.
This legal team will pursue Joe Exotic's pardon application to the President of the United States, post-conviction relief, as well as civil litigation. Joe was led down a path by swindlers, subjected to biased judgment, and convicted in a failure of justice.
I would like to send a special thank you to Ann Patrick, Joe's power of attorney, for believing in myself and our team to navigate the arduous road ahead.
This will be a case of redemption. Justice must be served. President Trump, we are asking you today, please free Joe Exotic.
He's absolutely not guilty. And we're going to be able to prove that. We're asking for a pardon.
All right. Actually, it's the first time I actually sit through the full video on that one. Very, very cool. Good job. Good job.
Can we rent that bus?
Yeah, we'll talk to Eric about it. It's the legal team's bus, so they're doing it in style. They're doing it in style. Go. And shout out to Patrick Stevens and Brittany Wynn, who did some great stunt bike work in the video. I think it goes perfect with the helicopter and the tour bus and everything else. We were circling the prison. I filmed that. We circled the prison in the helicopter.
Totally. Great footage there, but man, incredible stories. Lots that you shared with us tonight. Thank you for being open about it all and making time to talk as friends. This is why we're here. Again, JT Barnett, our incredible director, producer from the original show, Tiger King. Thank you, buddy. Let's go ahead and Michelle, help me give a round of applause to this guy for staying this late, coming back after his phone died and sitting through the video. The original, my plan was like, you know what, we'll talk. I know he's busy in the studio. We'll show the video after we're done talking. So I'm glad you went through this with us and we got to learn together about it all.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for having me.
Very cool.
Thank you so much.
And good to see you again, Barney. I look forward to salsa nights. And
yes,
we're going to talk about mariachi stuff.
Yes, and good luck in your future projects and lots of success to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
JT Barnett, ladies and gentlemen.
Adios.
Take care, bye. I see you on the field, okay? I'll see you on the field.
Yes, I'll see you soon. All
right, bye.
Awesome.
Have a good one. Good night.
Barney, quiero mandarle saludos a Eduardo Argüello que nos está viendo, a Rafael González, a David Santana, a Josué, ese DJ. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? DJ X, ¿verdad?
La X.
A Paula Gutiérrez, I love Joe, free Joe. Everybody wants Joe to be free. Free the king, Gale, la excelencia. Saludos a Gale. Y dice Josué, what's up, Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods, there it is. Saludo a la X por ahí. Eduardo Argüello, que siempre nos apoya, ahí envía su saludo con su manito. Saludo a Eduardo. Cuando dijiste lo de por ahí salió Rigo. Rigo, saludos para ti. Thank you for y tu saludo. Who else? Cindy Massanet dice que Ricky loves kitty kitty. I'm not sure what that means, pero thanks for letting us know, Cindy, about Ricky. Rigo comenta, dice que I'm scared of cats because they have sharp fingernails. They have sharp teeth, nails, everything. They got everything going on.
Yeah.
Edgar Serrano comentando en la conversación, dijo, he spent his money in legal issues because Carol sued him, and all his money went to legal issues. That's correct. Yeah. Unfortunately, he even signed away his zoo because he had legal issues. So hopefully the government and Donald Trump, which by the way, Michelle, Donald Trump saw this video. He actually commented on a conference, on a press conference. I believe he commented. He said, "I'm gonna think about it as far as pardoning or working out a deal." But it's true. It's so true. He actually did see the video.
Es que sí, o sea, si te pones a pensar, poniéndote en sus zapatos de hasta cómo ha actuado hasta el día de hoy nuestro presidente de Estados Unidos en este momento, si te das cuenta, desde el espacio en el que él actúa, es obvio que esta oportunidad él la va a ver como voy a tener muchos más seguidores. Los mismos seguidores de Tiger King van a estar conmigo, o sea, Por eso le pregunté a JT qué pensaba de la respuesta que iba a tener con este video en la mente de Donald Trump, porque pues imagínate, él es exactamente lo que dijo JT, él es un showman. Esto va a ser muy atractivo para él, ¿no?
Definitivamente, es increíble cómo ellos hacen esto de la reality show. Quería preguntarle también, que se me olvidó, ¿are reality shows fake? Are they real? Because I keep hearing that they're fake, and a lot of it's simply production work and scripted. So he would know that as a director, how they work the
Sí,
behind the scenes.
yo he trabajado con algunas personas que han estado en reality shows y hasta donde yo sé, haz de cuenta que sí, toman la vida de una persona, pero tiene que haber una línea, o sea, un outline y te vas guiando, como dice él, o sea, debe ser un horario normal, como si fuera una serie inventada, una película normal, pero
Claro,
las cosas se van como que poquito controlando, pero no deja de ser la vida de Michelle, la vida de Barney, ¿entiendes?
claro,
Pero si va bajo un formato, entonces sí está, yo creo que a lo mejor un 60% es real y el otro 40% es manipulado.
correcto.
Pero pues no deja de ser algo auténtico y algo real, porque pues está basado en la vida de una persona real y este personaje pues es una persona súper excéntrica y al principio que yo lo empecé a ver yo dije, ¿será un personaje, o sea, actuado todo él? Porque es demasiado excéntrico, como dice JT, pero ahora que me dice que sí es una persona.
Correcto. Oh, te perdí. I lost you. No sé, creo que la señal y a lo mejor también tu batería. Your battery, just like JT. I was agreeing with everything you were saying, Michelle. Edgar Serrano, I'm putting some of your comments on the screen, man. Thanks for participating. You had lots of great questions. Time flew by, and there was so much information we wanted to learn. I got Ricky Serrano. He put a whole paragraph of zebras and why don't you worry about the stripes on the zebra with Mike Tyson and something else, man. I'm not sure where you were. Edgar Serrano, some conspiracy. He killed 5 tigers. The FBI doesn't prosecute. Guys, I'm watching your comments. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Even Isham, he's upset with Joe. He said, F that guy, F Joe, F the major fraud. He also agrees that Carol did it. Carol did it. So there it is. I don't know what conversation they're having here. Lions and Tigers, Bears, and oh my. Yep, he had a little bit of everything. Shout out to un saludo para la familia Roland. Hola, hello, familia Roland. What's going on? Buenas noches. Check it out. Thank you for making time. They're watching the Tiger King, and they know all about the show. La familia Roland, Jodalis, Jomaira. Shout out to you guys. Roland's in the house. Yeah. Definitely. Somebody's asking for coupons for cheaters. I don't know what that means. You want to get on? You want to get on the show for free? That's what you're trying to say. Saludos, mi gente, para T-Mac. Michelle, te me fuiste. Si estás por ahí, conéctate una vez más para despedirnos. T-Mac, saludos. Thank you, el comediante. I would like to blow up stuff too. All right, TMI, bro. TMI. Thank you for sharing, though. Aquí llegué. Felicidades al cumpleañero esta noche, Rubén Santiago, que cumpleaños. Padre, se te quiere. Besos, abrazos. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Rubén. Felicidades, que cumpla 100 más, Rubén. Se te quiere muchísimo. Definitivamente. Rubén Santiago, saludo. And Joma, hey, I hear you. I see you. Hi, Barney. Saludos para ti, Roland, all the kiddos. En la familia, ustedes, thank you for tuning in. All right. Okay. Well, today was full of great information. I wrote a lot down of questions. He gave me even more of what I thought I'd be talking about. It's been great tonight. Hopefully you guys we're able to learn some stuff too from your point of view, from your side of learning from the show Joe Exotic and Tiger King. This guy definitely broke it down from a personal perspective on being on site as a director, as a producer, right? From the original Tiger King to the way it made his way to the popular Netflix show that we know, with the new producers and the new cast that were part of that. But as you can see, a lot of the videos are the same thing, same footage, same information. And this guy was there from the beginning. So thank you, JT, once again. JT Barnett. Find him on Facebook, social media, and tell him, hey, you're Barney's friend. That means you're my friend. And tell him I said that, okay? Add him on Facebook, social media. Follow that guy. He's got a lot of incredible stuff he's got coming up soon. And then Michelle Menache, que siempre nos tienes unas bonitas palabras por ahí. Te lo aseguro, pero te lo digo. I am so sure que se le quedó el teléfono o la laptop sin batería. Te lo aseguro. Porque I don't know how do we not see that coming, guys? Low battery means, 5% is really more like 2. So, anyways, Michelle, thank you again for always being part of the great and amazing show we put together. I put together with you here on Barney and Friends. Tengo un video. I got a video every week. I put a video out there. I'll share. We're going to continue to stay home, guys. Quédate en tu casa. Muy importante. Si no tienes nada que hacer, no hagas nada más que quedarte en tu casa. So make sure you stay home. Protect others by staying home, and that's how you protect yourself too. Okay? So stay home. Stay safe. I got a video that we're going to share to end the night. Como siempre hago, quédate en tu casa. Y por supuesto, mira, T-Mac, es que she knows. T-Mac que sigue el show, lo sabe. Michelle no cargó el set. Come on now. That's what I think. No worry, Michelle. We got jokes. So just the comedian T-Mac. He got jokes too. But I'm going to play that video. Pero antes no se olviden. Guys, follow JT. Follow the free Joe Exotic movement and what he's putting together. Make sure you take care of you and your family. Always pray. Ora, pray. I believe in prayer. Pray for what you believe, what you'd like. So God definitely answers prayers at his own time, and he's always there to listen. Okay, so pray for your family to continue to stay safe during the hard times we're living. And that's it. That's all I got. Episodio número 6. Incredible show tonight. Espero que lo pasaron muy bien. Me divertí muchísimo. Aprendí bastante. Yo sé que ustedes también. Se me cuidan mucho. Pórtense bien, porque para portarse mal hay que salir de la casa y pues no podemos salir. So un rato más, a little bit more time before we get out and hit the streets. Se me cuidan mucho. El boricua DJ Barney. This is Barney and Friends. You're my friend. Thank you for being my friend. I'm your friend. Buenas noches. Se cuidan mucho. Aquí los dejo con el video. The video of Quédate en tu casa. Stay home. This is very important. Stay home. Se cuidan mucho. Buenas noches. Good night.
Quédate en tu pinche casa, no estás de vacaciones. No por ser mexicanos nos sintamos tan fregones. Ponte a mirar películas comiendo chicharrones, acostado, sentado hasta en calzones. Pero por favor quédate en tu casa. Chingada madre cabrón que nada te pasa. Tu encerramiento valdrá mucho la pena. Hacer pedas en casa no cuentan de cuarentena. Hacer compras de pánico y llenarte la alacena. Tampoco exageres, no te chinguen la quincena. Con precaución puedes ir al supermercado por las cosas de mandado que han faltado. Ponte a hacer caso, mexicano inconsciente. ¿Qué prefieres, ser paciente o ser paciente? Barras, tú le entendiste. Hay que hacer caso al coronavirus, no es un chiste. Hay que hacer caso al coronavirus, no es un chiste. Cómprate una baraja, una lotería. Juega con tu familia por las tardes cada día. Pero por favor no salgas de tu hogar. Al COVID-19 lo tenemos que frenar. ¿Qué prefieres, encerrado o enterrado? Tú decides, tú aquí serás el curado. La pandemia es un juego, hasta te puedes burlar. Creerte Superman, las leyes no acatar. Al gobierno ignorar, por las calles andar hasta el día que te infectes o se infecte un familiar. Te darás cuenta del error que has cometido cuando entres al hospital y no puedas ser atendido, porque no hay camillas, respiradores, menos doctores, no hay vacunas y enfrente de ti hay enfermos peores. Quédate en tu casa, no está funcionando. Puto el que salga, Simón, te estoy retando. Puto el que salga, Simón, te estoy retando. ¿A qué quieres salir? De todos modos hay ley seca. Ahorita no hay caguamas, querido, boca seca. Ya no hay cerveza ni siquiera para revender. Un consejo, tápense la boquita al toser. No saluden de mano, no saluden de beso. Hay que evitar que nos vaya a cargarla sin hueso. Sé que es difícil pedir que el lavado de manos se haga a la generación que chatea mientras caga. Aquí vamos a entender la situación. O eres parte del problema o parte de la solución. Médicos y enfermeros luchando a capa y espada, y tú lo único que tienes que hacer es hacer nada. Quedarte en casa y no salir es lo único que debes hacer si quieres vivir. Quizás esto termine por la 4ª semana. El primero que llegue a diciembre gana. El primero que llegue a diciembre gana. Por tu salud, por mi salud, y por la salud de todos. Chingada madre.
Wait. That's it. Ya se acabó todo lo que se daba. Se acabó. It's over.
El primero que llegue a diciembre gana.
That's it.
Por tu salud, por mi salud, y por la salud de todos. Chingada madre. Quédate en tu casa.
Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. 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 Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.